What is going on, everybody? It's the Fox, and we're back here for our Smackdown live review for June 19th, 2019. Rey Mysterio Day, apparently, in San Diego, California. But just want to throw it out there. Holy fuck, what a show this was tonight. I don't know what happened in the last week for SmackDown Live when it came to the creative team, but whoever was put in charge of this show, booking the show, writing the show, should be in charge of SmackDown Live for the rest of 2018. This had to be the best SmackDown Live I have seen all year. This was ridiculous. This is one of the best shows outside of the opening segment, which saw Asuka pretty much look like a fucking fool again. This was a great show. We had a gauntlet match for the last 45 minutes of the show. We had the Sanity finally made their debut. Sanity wasn't in a match. It was supposed to be, but it was them sending a message to the rest of the SmackDown locker room. We had, for whatever reason, and this is something that makes me scratch my head, we had a rematch from the Money in the Bank kickoff show between the Bludgeon Brothers and the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. I don't know why they got a rematch, but they got a rematch for some reason, and that happened. It was a good show. It was a good show, but it wasn't a perfect show. This was one of the downs. Outside of the opening segment and the questionable tag team title match before the gauntlet match, I don't get why they had it. Other than that, this show was just great. Best SmackDown of the year, and again, whoever was put in charge of constructing this show to be like this, outside of the opening segment and that tag team title match, which made no sense why they got that tag team title match, this was the best SmackDown of 2018. Let's talk about the opening segment. Oh my goodness. After Paige had a nice little monologue before the show started before Paige's nice little monologue about the show this week, or after it, of course, we had who else but the female Enzo of the WWE in Carmella come out, gloat, after who looked like Asuka, but it turned out to be dumbfuck, and then in the end they make Asuka look like a chump again. So WWE goes from having Asuka be this dominated force who nobody could touch to a blithering fucking idiot. Seriously. What are they doing with Asuka? I don't know, but it's just pathetic.
I won the Money in the Bank contract. I successfully cashed in to become the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Don't remind us.
And I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I beat Charlotte Flair twice! And this past Sunday at Money in the Bank, I did the unthinkable.
You made Asuka look like a blithering idiot, looks like she was stupid as fuck, and beat her. Yeah, that's exactly what you did.
Beat Asuka. Oh, wait for it. Do you guys want to know the best part? This is the best part. Just wait for it. It's coming up right here. Just listen closely. I did it all by myself.
Yeah, sure you did. Sure you did.
I made the Empress of Tomorrow bow down to the Princess of Staten Island.
You seem to be proud of being from Staten Island.
That's right, me.
No one's proud of being from Staten Island. Asuka's music hits, and you could honestly tell from the start it wasn't Asuka. No, her hair wasn't showing. It was James Ellsworth looking like a fucking retard again. Oops, I didn't even do that. Let's turn this volume down again. Or not. Okay, let's get this back to what it was. But yes, out came Asuka, supposedly, and it turned out, and obviously you could tell it was James Ellsworth. This guy needs to learn how to wink.
I was shocked. You guys didn't know it was him. No one was ready for Ellsworth. Especially Asuka! Now shut your traps, people, because I have something very special to say to
This guy
mine.
couldn't stay in the independent scene? Like, seriously?
You know how the saying goes, when you love someone, let them leave, and I don't remember the rest of that saying. It's not important. What's important here is, I'm back!
Yay!
And I'm back to serve the greatest woman in history.
Then the real Asuka comes out, not wearing her mask, not wearing her gown or her jacket or anything. Beeline to the ring. Not happy at all. James Ellsworth takes off Asuka's jacket. She still has her arm sleeves on. And her boots. She spring kicks him in the stomach, starts yelling at him, and then gets a super kick to the face by Carmella. Grabs the title,
Line of defense.
grabs Ellsworth by the shirt, and just tosses him out the ring.
Dividends once again.
So again, Asuka, undefeated badass who nobody can touch, to blithering idiots. Spin kicks him in the face, and instead of turning her attention straight to Carmella, let me yell at him, who's on the mat, withering in pain. Oh, it was a bad look for Asuka. Very bad look for Asuka. Obviously, they're not done yet, so I imagine we're going to see them again. Becky Lynch versus Billie Kay. In control of the majority match was Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce ends up getting a kick to Becky Lynch's face when the referee's not looking. This match was a pretty decent match, but the Iconics, they're basically on Smackdown Live right now to annoy the hell out of people and get their asses kicked. They have nothing else to do. They are doing nothing else with these women. And there was rumors going around that these women were going to be getting a big push because of t-shirt sales of theirs. The Iconic shirt, I guess, was selling really well at WWE Shop. I haven't seen it yet. Then this match didn't do anything for Billie Kay at all. She did have a lot of help from Peyton Royce in the majority of it. Match came down to disarm her, which looked like it was put on way easier than it should have been, and Billie Kay taps out. When it was Becky Lynch. In the back, Jeff Hardy. I think, we already know what Nakamura is going to next. We came out of Money in the Bank wondering what's next for Nakamura. Well, they were quick to figure out what's going to happen next. And this is interesting because Jeff Hardy, who hasn't worn face paint or anything since he's been back in WWE, except for a couple times at house shows, looks like he's tapped into his inner brother Nero, in my opinion.
Money in the Bank. Shinsuke Nakamura failed to make the count of 10. AJ Styles was victorious.
All right, let me set this up for you for a minute. We have a picture. We have a video of a black background, like a dark room, and we see the back of Jeff Hardy's face with a little bit of lighting on the side of Jeff's face. It looks like from this angle, you can see that he's got face paint on. Yeah, you can definitely tell he has face paint on, but you don't know if it's the full face or what it is. And he's here to monologue and set his sights on Shinsuke Nakamura.
I have a memory that won't move on. A memory lodged inside my brain about what Nakamura did to me last Tuesday. His knee collided with my face, sending a shockwave through my epidermis, reverberating through my subcutaneous tissue,
What?
rattling my skeletal system, and shaking my soul. But his actions had an unintended consequence. Instead of unsettling me, his actions made me sharper focused. My eyes were closed before.
He turns around. And I've got to tell you, have you ever seen Jeff Hardy when he has that whole face paint thing on and his eyelids are painted with eyes on them? It is the creepiest looking thing I have seen from anybody.
Now, They're open.
He opens his eyes, and he's wearing contacts, like special contacts, that cover his eyes, but they're like meshed, like the pupils are meshed out so you can still see through. Something like he wore when he was Brother Nero in Impact Wrestling till, I believe, the Great War, final total non-stop deletion happened, and then he lost those eye contacts. This looks like Brother Nero compared to Jeff Hardy, because back when Jeff Hardy would wear the face paint and the eyes over his, like the eyelid eyes on him, back when he was here in 2009, he would actually see he would open his eyes and you would see his normal eyes. This, he has his eyes covered in what looks like Brother Nero and not Jeff Hardy.
Shinsuke, I see you.
Creepy, 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 very creepy. Ominous message from Jeff Hardy. It looks like his Brother Nero has come out of him more than it would before. They don't have the promo from Daniel Bryan, do they? Let me see if we can get here, because that's a promo I definitely want to put on here. Daniel Bryan had a promo in the back, which was pretty nice. That he gets asked a question by Renee Young, and he has a nice little thing about it, and then he says something to her, but I don't think they have it. Jeez. No, they don't have it, but okay, so after Daniel Bryan just pretty much went out there and cut a promo and says he's not going to survive, because she asked him if he will survive, how he's going to survive this gauntlet match. He's going to win. And then he's like, well, I've always wanted to do this, but so Renee Young, I have a question for you. He asks her, do you think I'm going to be able to win this gauntlet match? She says, I'm sure you're able to. He's like, work with me. And he's like, and he asked her again, and then she says yes. And he's like, I love that, and started chanting yes, yes, yes. Then we finally get to see Sanity wreak havoc on Smackdown Live. I was looking forward to this. The only problem I have with this is the fact that Sanity took so long to get here. But Sanity meet the Usos, and things don't turn out well for Jimmy and Jay.
It looked like we got a whole new tag team here on Smackdown Live. And they out here, they want to make a name for themselves. Hey, Us, you remember the first time we tried to make a name for ourselves? Like it was yesterday? Hey, we was at the drawing board trying to figure out what we gonna do, how we gonna do it, how we gonna look. Man, we ran around here with face paint all over the face. Thought we looked like Ultimate Warrior. Me and you run around here looking like we fresh off Sesame Street.
His brother just has that smile on his face.
But we figured it out. It's gonna take a whole lot more paint and a whole lot more moves to make a name right here. To make a name in this game, you gotta show your heart, and we did that. You gotta be 100. We did that. Sure, you gotta have a couple screws loose to rock with me and my Us. And we did that. Hey, Sanity, you wanna talk about chaos tonight? Chaos meets Uso crazy. Yes, sir. Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary.
Can we just have the Usos cut a promo every single week? These guys are just gold. Why these guys could not hold on to this? I know they want to put them on the Bludgeon Brothers, give these guys their due, but the Bludgeon Brothers have done nothing with them. They defended the titles at the Greatest Royal Rumble this past Sunday and tonight. What have they done between that? Nothing. After what happens later in the night, there is something, and I don't know what's going to happen with the Bludgeon Brothers, but we'll have to see what happens. We'll get to that a little bit later. I love that. I love Sanity's theme music. We're going to skip ahead because, it's copyright claims and whatnot. All of a sudden, first off, they say this is supposed to be a match, but there was no referee anywhere to be found. Sanity makes their entrance. Alexander Wolf goes over and attacks one of the Usos, so him and Eric Young attack one, and Killian Dane attacks the other.
A big man from Northern Ireland, and the look of the near corner, Young and Wolf teeing off. Oh my God!
And now they start beating down the other one.
Frenetic chaos we talked about when it comes to Sanity. Well, the match hasn't even begun yet here. He's already taken down the
Dean with a nasty splash in the corner on one Uso. Okay, so he splashes the one Uso. I don't know if it's Jimmy or Jay in the corner. Alexander Wolf and Eric Young have his brother they have him held down, and Eric Young has his hair, and he's making him watch Killian Dane Vader bomb his brother.
The second rope.
Oh, no. You can hear Eric Young screaming, making Jey Uso watch his brother.
Okay, Jimmy got smashed.
Disassembled at the hands of Dane. Oh, no, now
and now, you know, Jimmy, yeah. Elevated neck breaker.
This has become a feeding.
And Eric Young, Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf have arrived to SmackDown Live. And that was that. That was that. They just destroyed the Usos. Not really many other tag teams that you can actually sit there and destroy like that and expect them not to come back. I mean, the Usos will definitely come back and retaliate. This feels like this should be morphed more towards like a tag team title match instead of just whatever. The Usos, I'm okay with beating down, I guess. I honestly think this should lead to a New Day Insanity 6-man tag match because you have the two factions, one a babyface, one a heel, and I think this would be a reminiscent of like when the Shield faced the New Day last year at Survivor Series, something like that. I think the Usos versus Sanity will be an excellent match when we get it actually at probably Extreme Rules. This was just a taste of what Sanity can do, and I'm sure we'll see them in a tag team match in the near future. And eventually, the Bludgeon Brothers versus Sanity will be on the docket. I just don't know when. Nakamura, oh my God, Nakamura is a beautiful heel. This is just good stuff. Renee Young and him in the back. Nakamura promises to close Jeff Hardy's eyes. Let's get the phone out the way. Okay. Just want to make sure we don't have any, any problems legally. But yes, Nakamura promises to close Jeff Hardy's eyes.
Shinsuke, I know that you have requested this interview to explain your loss to AJ Styles in your last man's match at Money in the Bank.
What is a loss?
Shinsuke, if you're going to pretend that you don't know how to speak English again...
Oh, I understand it. How did I lose? I'm standing right from. Only reason AJ is still WWE champion is because the referee counted very fast, and he didn't count on Jeff.
Okay, well, what's your reaction to Jeff Hardy's comments from earlier?
Who?
Jeff Hardy.
No, Jeff Hardy's eyes may be open. If crossed.
Oh, good stuff. Nakamura, a few things first. I'm glad that it was like we didn't see Nakamura go from WWE Champion Contender to irrelevancy. He's going to be, and he didn't go after Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy laid down the challenge for him. That's, in my book, that's a lot better. So it doesn't, like, Shinsuke Nakamura doesn't lower himself to deal with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy wants to step up and, like, you were going up against AJ, and you couldn't get the job done. You mess with me, you need me in the face, you hit me in the balls, I'm coming for you next time, again, very, very soon, Nakamura. So I am excited to see what happens between these two as we get closer and closer to Extreme Rules. So that should be something to look forward to if you are a Shinsuke Nakamura or a Jeff Hardy fan, as I am. I'm looking forward to it. Then we had, I don't know why this match was even a thing, the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Good Brothers of Gallows and Anderson. Rematch from the kickoff show to Money in the Bank. I still don't understand why this match was even happening. The Bludgeon Brothers won fair and square at the pay-per-view kickoff show. Can I say something that I hope does not stick? I know he wears a shirt that says Big LG, but I don't want the nickname the Big LG to be like his ring name soon, where it's like Carl Anderson and the Big LG. Whoa, it'll be terrible. Bludgeon Brothers win again. I don't know what the point of this match was. It served no purpose other than the ending, like the post-match, where we had the Bludgeon Brothers leaving, and it bled right into the gauntlet match, and Daniel Bryan was the first member of the 5, which we had Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, Big E, Samoa Joe, Rusev, and The Miz, all 5 of those guys in a gauntlet match. Was it as good as the gauntlet match we saw in February? No. Was it as good or better than the gauntlet match that we had before Money in the Bank for the women? Yeah. So, again, they touted this as the first time ever for SmackDown to have a gauntlet match. So, there's that. Daniel Bryan makes his way to the ring, and he's doing his yes thing down the ramp and guest chance right between Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Those two have a stare down. Eric Rowan has his mallet over his head, and he pulls it up a little bit, and they just stare a little bit more. Daniel Bryan slowly walks away and does his yes chant a little bit more. And that would not be the last time we see the Bludgeon Brothers tonight. And I'm going to wonder what goes on with this. Big E versus Daniel Bryan. I will say before we go anywhere else, I pitched last night that I wanted to see Big E win this match for the simple fact is Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, and The Miz were not to win this match. No way, shape, or form. They could not. There is no reason to have The Miz, Daniel Bryan, or Samoa Joe win this match and go to a B-level pay-per-view to start a feud with the WWE Champion. It makes no sense. So that left Big E or Rusev to win this match. Unfortunately, with Big E versus Daniel Bryan being the start of this match, I thought Big E should have wanted to throw him a bone for being there and being part of the New Day for the last 4 or 5 years or however long they've been the New Day. But unfortunately, with him facing Daniel Bryan at the start, I knew that wasn't going to happen. But after coming out of this match tonight with Daniel Bryan and Big E, I still feel that Big E should have gotten the opportunity to go up against AJ Styles at Extreme Rules, and he even proved it even more tonight, putting on a hell of a match. And Daniel Bryan did not carry Big E in this match. Big E held his own against Daniel Bryan. They lock up, and Big E goes for a power toss, but Bryan blocks that. Test of strength by Bryan, who is losing the test of strength to Big E. Why would you even try a test of strength against Big E is beyond me. Bryan fights out, and he goes for a waist lock, and Big E does a little gyrates for a second, and then he hip tosses Daniel Bryan. Bryan with a surfboard stretch into a dragon sleeper. That could be that right there. A surfboard stretch and then into the dragon sleeper could be one of the most devastating finishers for somebody, where you just work on the knees and then you have them in the dragon sleeper and you're just wrenching them back. And they can't and their legs aren't free, so it's like they don't have any leverage, because in a normal dragon sleeper, it's usually your legs are wrapped around, if you do the dragon sleeper right, unless of course you're the Undertaker. When he was the Big Evil, when he would use it, he would just stand there and they would just be feet down on legs, feet flat. But this one, it makes it harder for the person being put into the surfboard dragon sleeper to do anything. But Big E does fight out with a couple shots to Bryan's face. Kick to Big E's shoulder, then an arm crank. Now Bryan on the attack of Big E's arm. Big E gets out, belly to belly suplex. He just like wraps his arm around Bryan and just tosses him on head over. I thought if he tossed him wrong, he was gonna have Daniel Bryan land on his head. Then Big E gets on the apron because Daniel Bryan's laying halfway in the ring, halfway out the ring, and hits him with a running splash on the apron, chest on to the chest of Bryan, and he falls out of the mat. They go to break. This was the only time in the quote-unquote main event, since SmackDown's been doing these picture-in-pictures, that a SmackDown main event got any part of its match in a picture-in-picture, which is weird. Back from break, Bryan goes for a diving headbutt and misses. Big E gets a 2 count. Can we get rid of the diving headbutt, please? I want to be one of those people who advocates to get rid of that move. It is dangerous. It is not necessary. And all this talk about concussions, that is a leading candidate for concussions in WWE and all of professional wrestling, and it has to go. Back from the break, Bryan goes for a diamond headbutt and misses, and Big E gets a 2 count. Big E has a modified torture rack. The modified torture rack, I mean like what Bobby Lashley did to Sami Zayn last night when he had him up on his shoulder. That's exactly what he did here, except he didn't crank him a little bit. But Bryan gets out, running clothesline by Bryan to Big E. Drop toe hold into the corner to Big E, then kicks to the chest of Big E in the corner. Bryan puts Big E on the top rope. He goes for it and hits a Hurricane Rana. Bryan with running drop kicks in the corner. He goes for one more, and Big E just launches out of the corner, hits a clothesline, backbreaker for a 2 count. The intensity on Big E's face from this point on was just great. Again, I still wish Big E could have been like one of the last person to come in, or like the next to last or the third person to come in and just roll through everybody after Daniel Bryan, with Daniel Bryan versus Rusev or Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe, whichever, and have Big E win this match. Big E with the serious look on his face, Big E with the stretch muffler submission, which I would never want to have that on my leg, because that's got to be terrible. The hell. Bryan turns that into the yes lock attempt, but Big E breaks out, but Bryan turns that into a triangle attempt, but Big E deadlifts Bryan, who drops in and drops a knee smash to the knee. Heel hook attempt, but Big E gets to the ropes. Shots get traded. Bryan with the backflip in the corner, his backflip in the corner. Bryan gets it tossed to the apron, and Big E with the spear to the outside. Big E does not land on his head. Usually when he has somebody on the apron and he bounces off and runs head first, he ends up usually looking like he lands on his head. This time he actually rotated and landed on his shoulder blade area. So he actually took the bump better than he usually does. Big ending block. Big E runs in the post. Bryan hits the running knee, and he gets the 3 count. Winner of the first match of this entire gauntlet is Daniel Bryan. Out comes Samoa Joe, and they go to commercial break. And Samoa Joe is destroying Daniel Bryan when they come back from break. They show Styles watching from the back, because the winner of this match does go to Extreme Rules to face AJ Styles, and the winner is a great one. Is a great choice in my opinion, but we'll get to that as we do. Bryan with the fight, but Joe destroys him and a clothesline for a 2 count. Joe's just pulverizing Daniel Bryan by this time. Bryan counters Joe, and he's on the strikes to Joe and kicks with some kicks and chops. Joe catches Bryan with a powerbomb for a 2 count, turned into a Boston Crab, a modified, where he's not pulling. He doesn't have the knees bent. He actually has he has him by the upper legs instead of by having a hold of the lower legs. And then Then he turns the Crab into an STF, then a crossface into another submission where he goes and he has his one arm vice between his legs, so he grabs his other arm and just stretches it back, trying to destroy Daniel Bryan's arms when Daniel Bryan's feet are loose, and he's able to get to the bottom rope. Joe with some kicks and a dragon screw, but a dragon screw to Joe, and Bryan is on the attack, slamming Joe's knee into the ring post, and he does it again. Back in the ring, uppercut by Bryan, some atomic drop boot, and then a senton by Joe for a 2 count. Back from break, and Joe and Bryan are trading more shots. Joe puts the clutch on, trading shots. Joe tries to put the clutch on Bryan, but he sends Joe through the ropes to the outside. Running knee from the apron to Bryan, dropped by Bryan. Drop kicks from the top rope and back inside from Bryan. Bryan's chest looks brutal. Remember the Greatest Royal Rumble when Daniel Bryan's chest was like dog meat and Roderick Strong chopped the hell out of Daniel Bryan? Yeah, Samoa Joe did not as much as that, but when you actually do a close-up, it looked like his chest was bleeding. I think Daniel Bryan's got to stop taking chops to the chest, because he's got very thin skin there, and it gets lit up fast. Death kicks by Bryan. Joe catches the wind-up kick, but it ends good by Bryan over the corner. Running knee, but Joe bails. Bryan goes for the baseball slide. Joe catches him in the clutch, and he has him down by a barricade. And he's just holding him by the clutch because his plan is to, hold him. When the ref gets to 8, let him go, run back into the ring, 9, 10, Daniel Bryan would then eliminated. What happened was, Daniel Bryan turns to the side, they're at the barricade, he pushes off the barricade, Joe falls back, Daniel Bryan is let go of out of the clutch, Daniel Bryan gets back into the ring, and Joe is counted out for 10. Daniel Bryan moves on. But, and this is a big but, what did I tell you earlier, that the Bludgeon Brothers would be found again tonight? This was not the last time earlier we would see them. Out of nowhere, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan show up, they hit the full Nelson powerbomb on Daniel Bryan, and they exit the ring. Everything Daniel Bryan just went through, and he gets hit with the full Nelson powerbomb. What does this do for Daniel Bryan? We'll talk about that in a second. All of a sudden, the Miz's music hits, and he runs down in the ring. Skull Crusher finale. 1, 2, 3. Daniel Bryan has been eliminated thanks to an assist by the Bludgeon Brothers. Miz versus Bryan, that was all that. Rusev comes out, and we are back from break. Dropkick by Rusev for a 2 count. Miz begging him off, but Rusev starts on him and throws some shots at him. Running clothesline in the corner by Miz, but he is caught by Rusev, who hits a fallaway slam. Styles is in the back watching. Again, they showed that because, again, this match is the #1 contendership match for Extreme Rules. Miz sends Rusev to the outside and drop kicks to Rusev. But that sliding drop kick through the ropes, which is Back inside, Miz with the boots to Rusev for a 2 count. Chin lock on Rusev, wearing him out. Rusev fights back with a backbreaker, neckbreaker combo for a 2 count. Miz has Rusev in the corner. Miz this time hits the running clothesline, then a jumping axe handle off the top rope. Then into the chin lock, Miz raking the face while the referee's trying to walk around to check. He just grabs the face of Rusev. Rusev tries to get out and Miz stops that. Miz tries to push the ropes away, and Rusev eventually fights in and gets to the bottom rope. This is awesome chant from the fans. This was a pretty good gauntlet match. Was it as good as the Seth Rollins hour-plus match that we had? The hour-plus time in the ring with John Cena and Roman Reigns that we got in February? No. But it is the second best gauntlet match of the year. Boots to Rusev, and they start trading shot. Rusev with kicks to the Miz's chest, then a running spin kick. Rusev, they chance. Rusev goes for the Mashka kick, turned into a finale try, but Rusev is, and Corey Grace pointed this out, that Miz can't get his arms collapsed for the skull-crushing finale because Rusev is too strong at this time. Unlike, at Money in the Bank when he hit it, because Rusev was distracted this time. Rusev was just powering his way out of it. And then Miz is back into the corner. Spin kick by Miz. Rusev gets a 2 count. Oh, a running spin kick to the Miz by Rusev, and he gets a 2 count. Miz loses the ring, but Rusev sends him back in. Rusev gets his throat bounced off the top rope, then onto the apron, and then gets thrown into the stairs. He's thrown back inside, and Miz gets a 2 count. Miz tries to go for he hits the yes kicks to mock Bryan. Rusev ducks, looks for the accolade. Miz with the snap DDT after taking out the knees for the 2 count. Miz mocks the running knee in the corner, runs, gets hit with the Machka kick. Rusev with the accolade. Miz taps out. Your #1 contender to the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules is Rusev. The guy finally got a bone. Will he win at Extreme Rules? No. Not a chance. But it's fresh, it's new, and give these guys 20 to 30 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, and they will have a hell of a match. AJ Styles brings the best out of everybody. He didn't have enough time. He didn't get time to celebrate because AJ Styles' music hits. He comes to the ring. They shake hands. Aiden English looks like he wants to shake hands with AJ Styles too. AJ goes to shake, and then he pulls away and does the whole little hair pull, like the hair back. And AJ Styles knocks him on his ass. Rusev's like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? What the hell?" And that was how SmackDown Live ended. So we have a #1 contender for the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules, AJ Styles versus Rusev. That is awesome. We were in bizarre world, it felt like. I don't know, again, as I said, I don't know who booked this show, who helped Vince McMahon put this show together, because we all know Vince McMahon puts these shows together. I don't know who did this, but this show was awesome, phenomenal, great outside of the opening segment and tag team title match that made no sense. This has got to be, and I hope it still continues, but I don't hold hope for that. This has got to be the best SmackDown we've had all year long. Is it going to stay that way? I highly doubt that. But SmackDown was definitely great tonight. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Big Cass has been released. Thank the wrestling gods, this piece of shit was garbage. Thank the wrestling gods, this guy was garbage. Only reason Big Cass, and I'm going to be truthful, this is true. I saw Big Cass in NXT before Enzo made his return from a neck injury or whatever the injury was. This guy had no charisma. This guy sucked in the ring. This guy was so close, in my opinion, to losing his job in NXT. Enzo comes back, saves his job. We get introduced to Carmella because of those two. Yeah, look how that's turned out. She's a piece of shit as it is. And he got his career was saved because of Enzo Amore. They break them up, and no, I don't care what anyone says. They were never the hottest tag team in WWE ever. They had and I will say this: they peaked. Their gimmick and careers peaked at NXT Takeover London. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Their careers never got any better after NXT Takeover London. Yes, they came up at WrestleMania 32, but they were nothing but a comedy act. They were nothing but they were not a tag team to take serious. They were terrible. Then they break him up. He goes nowhere. He gets injured. He comes back after WrestleMania, and Daniel Bryan has to do everything he can to try and make the matches between him and Big Cass presentable. And Daniel Bryan couldn't even get a 2-star match out of this guy, either at Backlash or Money in the Bank. Backlash, I would say, was probably a 1-star. This one was probably 1.5. This guy was garbage, and I'm glad he's gone. Give somebody else a chance to actually compete. Somebody else will finally get to show off what they can do. Somebody with real talent, somebody with good mic skills, somebody who actually has charisma. Big Cass can go do whatever he wants. He can go to Impact Wrestling. He is garbage. He will never do anything worth anything. Apparently, Vince McMahon made the call, and if Vince McMahon makes the call, then there's no hope. Then you had nobody left to. If Vince McMahon, and the size that Big Cass is, if Vince McMahon's the one deciding to release you, if it's his call, that's not a good thing. That just shows how weak you are as a performer. Big Cass was trash, and it's great to see that SmackDown Live may have got a Weasel and Ellsworth back, but other than that, SmackDown just got a tiny bit better. Not a tiny bit, way better, because that piece of shit was gone. And I'm not sorry. That's my opinion. He was trash. But moving on. What does this do for Daniel Bryan? We had Daniel Bryan go 25 minutes, I think, something like that, between... He pretty much had the Seth Rollins role. He had 2 big matches against Big E. Big E held his own against Daniel Bryan. Big E looked good against Daniel Bryan. And then he had Samoa Joe, and nobody has to carry Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is one of the best wrestlers in WWE. Then the Bludgeon Brothers come out, and I wonder if it's going to be revealed that The Miz told the Bludgeon Brothers, or paid the Bludgeon Brothers, to go out there and take Daniel Bryan out if he gets past Samoa Joe. And this is another question I wonder. Is it going to be the story that Daniel Bryan will have somebody, I don't know who it is, will team up with somebody to be the team to dethrone the Bludgeon Brothers? I have no idea. I'm thinking that it was The Miz who next week will have some video footage or something where The Miz somehow gets them, like, using whatever tactics he has to, gets the Bludgeon Brothers to do his dirty work, to go out there and screw over Daniel Bryan, because Miz beelined it to the ring, skull crushing finale, and Daniel Bryan got eliminated. So that is a big question coming out of this show that I don't have a clue what they're going to do. So everything that happened tonight, we had Asuka looking like a blithering idiot again. We had an undeserved tag team championship match. Sanity made a statement. Shinsuke Nakamura and Jeff Hardy in separate promos pretty much decided we're going to have a match at probably Extreme Rules, most likely for the United States Championship. Great to see that Jeff is going, like Shinsuke Nakamura didn't just go from WWE Championship to directionless. So it's great to see, and the first person to declare to take on Shinsuke Nakamura was Jeff Hardy. You kicked me in the ball. You hit me in the balls last week, and you hit me in the face. You messed my head up. You messed me up psychologically, and it looks like he brought out Brother Nero a little bit. I could be totally wrong. That's what it looked like to me. But that's going to be something we'll look forward to as we get closer to Extreme Rules. We do have 3 weeks left of this build, and Rusev is going to Extreme Rules, and hopefully him and AJ Styles don't get hampered down, because it is a one-off match. This match, the reason you didn't have Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, or The Miz win this match is because you don't put your 3 top contenders in WWE on a B show pay-per-view. You save one of these 3, if not all 3 of these guys, which I could honestly see. See, I don't want to do that. That's the problem. What do you do with these 3? Joe, Bryan, and The Miz, because you don't want to see The Miz and Daniel Bryan in an actual fight match. This was okay because Miz was doing what Miz does best. He is doing what Edge would do. If Edge was still wrestling, he would have taken that opportunity, came out, hit a spear or an educator, and won the match, eliminated his opponent, and moved on. So I'm not sure what they're going to do for how do we get to SummerSlam with Joe, Bryan, or Miz. Fatal 4-way? No, because because the biggest thing about it with Daniel Bryan is we still don't know if he's going to stay or if he's going to let his contract run out and go somewhere else. And no, he will not be at All In. Even if I don't care if he doesn't have a 30-day no-compete clause, but his contract runs out on September 1st at midnight. Unless All In was to end at the main event match was to be after midnight, then Daniel Bryan could be at All In, but he's not going to be. He'll probably be in New Japan Pro Wrestling or Ring of Honor if he does not stay. But who knows? Who knows? That's the biggest thing coming out of this is where do we go from here with Daniel Bryan, The Miz, and Samoa Joe? Why did the Bludgeon Brothers attack Daniel Bryan? And was The Miz involved? Because it just seemed to be convenient that The Miz reaped the benefits of the Bludgeon Brothers attack. I have no idea. I'm sure none of you have any idea. We'll keep on this, and we'll see what happens next week on Tuesday on Smackdown Live. But my name is The Franz. Hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. What is your thoughts on this Smackdown Live? This has got to be the best Smackdown Live we've had all year. With hiccups, it was not a perfect show. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and follow me on Twitter at The Franz. Follow me on twitch.tv/TheFranz08. Hit that follow button over there too and to know when I am streaming. And I will see you guys tomorrow for NXT Aftermath, where we will talk about everything going into NXT's next tapings. Until then, my name is The Franz, and I am out of here.